Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners General Session for March 29th. We'll begin this morning with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have a resolution as well. We have a presentation this morning. It is World Autism Awareness Day month, the month of April, which is coming up. And we have with us our guest, Michael Hartley, sitting in the back of the room, who is the president of Swing State Strategies, but he is also here to speak on behalf of World Autism Awareness. So, Michael, if you want to come on up. He has a look on his face like maybe he wasn't preparing to say much today.
Oh,
That's okay.
always.
That's okay. You can just talk about the Browns for 5 minutes. You'll be fine.
So here's who I think they're going to take with the second pick. I just want to, as a parent of a child with autism, who's seen the work that Autism Speaks and all the various groups that support the families with children with autism, what they've done over the years, particularly since our son's diagnosis 4 years ago. And I want to commend the Franklin County Commissioners for every year you are so supportive of what we do, be it the walk in October, and every April you're there with the resolution. Whenever the cookies come out from Panera, y'all are taking selfies. I just want to emphasize how much it means to your support means to the parents and the children and the families that deal with autism every single day. So thank you very much.
You know, Michael, yesterday I got a text from staff that said, "Hey, don't forget to wear blue. Don't forget to wear blue tomorrow because it's Autism Awareness." And my 8-year-old said to my wife, "Why does Dad need to wear blue?" And so I stood in the kitchen listening to my wife describe to my 8-year-old what autism was all about. And it was interesting. It was a tough conversation because how do you describe what autism is to an 8-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter seemed to get it and seemed to understand. And she said, and then when she was done, she said, "Well, they're not any different than us, Dad. They just have a different way of thinking and a different way of doing things." And it was just interesting. It was heartening to listen to my wife have to do that, which is, it wasn't emotionally draining. It was just a difficult. How do you describe autism to an 8-year-old kid? And then to hear her respond the way she did was pretty cool.
We've had to have that discussion with our 6-year-old daughter, who understands why her brother asks why her brother acts a certain way, and you think back to even a decade ago, where where society was on this and understanding, and I see it in our son is mainstreamed into public school, and I see the understanding within his classmates and the teaching staff and administrators, and that is one of the big things we had to deal with going back. Lack of understanding, and now it's 1 in 68, 1 in 45 boys. That's significant. So understanding's there. If we wanted it or not, we have to learn to understand what autism is. And
sure.
Yeah.
So thank you guys very much.
Well, we have a resolution for
All
you,
right.
so let's come on up. Do we want to? Well, let's get some pictures with Michael first, but then if you are in the crowd and you are wearing blue, come on up and join our picture. Yeah. After we take a picture with Michael.
You tell me wherever you want to.
Get you in the way. All right. With the blue resolution. Beautiful. Good job, everybody. Let me take another one. All right. Can I invite everybody?
All right, blue.
Everybody up.
Come on up.
I see lots of blue here.
We're in blue today. Come on up. Yeah. If you're vertically challenged, move up first.
No, you're fine, right?
Yeah. There's very little chance of you spraying.
Thank you.
Talking.
You know, I know it's a full form, but
I know.
I'm not below it. Guy right in the front row giving us a hard time about our beloved Cleveland Browns. And he's got a resolution on the agenda. Dangerous, dangerous. All right. I need a motion for the approval of the February 4th and February 26th briefing minutes.
I will move approval.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
The minutes have been approved.
All right, on to the municipal court. And they are here.
Resolution number 216-16, resolution authorizing an agreement with the Franklin County Municipal Court to provide legal counsel to indigent persons in the amount of $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Emily Shaw, Court Administrator with the Municipal Court, and with me is John Davenport, our Finance Director. Resolution 216-16 seeks the Board's approval to enter into a contract in the amount of $50,000 that will provide for the legal counsel for indigent persons who are charged with municipal violations in our court. This is an annual contract that we request every year with the Commissioners and to provide for that service. If you have any questions, we can answer.
Nope.
No? I'll move approval.
Easy.
21616.
I could ask John some questions, but I won't.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 216-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks, guys.
you.
Take care. Sheriff's Office.
Resolution number 217-16, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Correctional Care Plus LLC for medical services in the county correctional facilities in the amount of $599,700.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Scott. And this resolution authorizes a contract with Correctional Care Plus to continue to provide primary care medical services to inmates in the county correctional facilities. It's a one-year contract through December 31st, 2016, with no price change over last year's contract. And pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
And we have the ability to make changes once we get, hopefully, the comprehensive.
That is
medical.
correct. All of the contracts that
Yeah.
we've brought before you and will, in the meantime, have termed for, the reasons that we would need to possibly pursue that complete medical health care.
Okay. I'll move approval of 21716.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 217-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 218-16, resolution authorizing an amended contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation to continue an inmate work program for litter removal along Franklin County roadways in the amount of $87,400.
Commissioners, as mentioned, this resolution will allow us to continue the inmate litter removal program during 2016. ODOT will reimburse the cost of deputy services for inmate security during these duties. And pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
I'll move passage of 21816.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 218-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 219-16, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Columbus Urban League for the continuation of services for at-risk youth males of color in the amount of $860,265.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lance Porter, representing Job and Family Services. The initial pilot program for this was called More Than My Brother's Keeper. It has now been renamed I Am My Brother's Keeper, and will continue to serve the target zip code areas on the south side of Columbus, as well as the Mount Vernon area surrounding the Urban League. Services include mentoring, academic support, life skills coaching, health and wellness instruction, character development, family engagement, and vocational learning opportunities. And this year, the age group has been expanded to include 9 to 15 years old. During the 1 year, this program has shown significant increases in school attendance, school performance, and positive leadership experiences with the participants. Pending any questions, we'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of Resolution 219-16.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 219-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lance. Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 220-16, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with Columbus 2020 to conduct economic development activities on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners in the amount of $1 million.
Good morning, Commissioners. James Schimmer, Director of Economic Development and Planning. I'm pleased to bring forward this resolution this morning that authorizes a grant agreement between Columbus 2020 to conduct economic development activities on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. Commissioners, as you know, when we started this, I guess it was a trip in some ways, journey, with our economic development partners at Columbus 2020, there was a very specific growth strategy laid out, and it was a regional growth strategy for 11 counties, specifically focusing on building on existing assets, the things we already had in the region, attracting new investment, and creating new business opportunities for those folks that were here, as well as new businesses who would choose the Columbus region as their place of business. And I'm doing this only because I've heard Kenny do it about 20 times, and that is that where are we? So today, when we come forward bringing this contract forward, our initial thoughts were that we would create 150,000 jobs. As of 2016 in January, close to getting 111,113 jobs. Well on our way there. Capital investment, there was a goal set of $8 billion. We're at about $7.1 billion. One of the bigger numbers that I think everybody was concerned about, because our personal capital, or our personal incomes were declining at the time 2020 had come in. They've been able to raise that by about 17%. The goal is 30%. So that all leads to one fact I wanted to mention, and if you could kind of go back in time and think about where we were to where we are today, we have the ability to say today that Columbus is in the top 5 metro areas for new business locations. So Columbus 2020 has done more than an adequate job working with us and being our economic development arm, both on a national level but also on an international level. And we're very pleased to bring the contract forward to you today. Kenny is here if you have any questions. Kind of go from there.
Come on up, Kenny. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So again, thank you for your continued investment. It is maybe more important than ever. Jim's done a great job of kind of giving you the where are we now, which is we're hovering right around 75% of the 10-year goals halfway through the decade. Now I would stress though that can all be washed away pretty quickly. And that the economy, especially in a global economy that we operate in, can kind of wash away pretty quickly. But I think that we're competing very well right now, and the investment by Franklin County is doing a lot to help us get there. Our team went on over 60 business missions last year, all over the United States and Canada. We're doing both trade and investment work now, helping companies grow globally and create jobs back here. I think we were out of this U.S. 9 times last year talking to foreign companies. And in fact, a couple of our largest wins were international companies. In Canal, Winchester, you had BrewDog, which brought a lot of attention and had a lot of press around it. Italian company just south of us in Pickaway County. And then the Amazon projects in Franklin County were a really big deal. We started off with 3 projects, one in New Albany, one in Hilliard, and one in Dublin. They've now done about 5 or 6 projects across the state of Ohio, 2 more distribution centers to add to the cloud computing centers, and they've done a wind farm, I believe, in Spalding County. And I don't believe they're done investing in Ohio, but they started here in Central Ohio, and the investment that you made helped us build that relationship over a 4 or 5 year period. And although we all have to pay sales tax now from Amazon, and my wife doesn't like that very much because we buy a lot from those guys, I would tell you that it's contributing to every county in the state now, the sales tax revenue from the Amazon collections. And they, in fact, wouldn't have done that if they didn't have a nexus here. I wanted to stress just a couple of points. We did a lot of work last year at Rickenbacker. So we're exporting now from Rickenbacker. We have 9 international flights a week coming in from 3 of the best airlines in the world, Emirates, Cargolux, and Cathay Pacific. And at our Port Columbus, you've seen maybe some of the best marketing work we've done. As if everybody went out to the grand opening last week, the airport is all shined up. But in fact, you do see a lot more about Columbus and about our region and the companies that are here when you walk through the airport now, and that's all an intentional effort with our partners at Experience Columbus and with Port Columbus staff at the CRAA. They've been great to work with, as well as all of our private sector partners. Last thing I would say is that your dollars are being leveraged very well, times 7 at this point with your investment. So we have over $4 million of private sector investment, and we have investment from communities across the 11 counties. Your leadership matters an awful lot, and thank you for your service on the board, Commissioner Brown.
I love the fact that we're able to leverage that public investment from all of our local partners in the public sector as well as the private sector, and that's what makes this work so well. I'm thrilled to move for passage of Resolution 2/2016.
I'll second it. You know, Columbus's reputation, Franklin County's reputation, continues to increase across the country and across the world, in large part due to the efforts of Columbus 2020, and in some ways due to your efforts, Kenny. I was with, I had the good fortune of being, Jim and I, of being in Alaska last fall with Kenny for the International Economic Development Council. Anchorage, Alaska is an interesting place. But beautiful, gorgeous state, but it's an interesting place. But anyway, we milled around that convention center for 3 or 4 days, and your reputation and the reputation of 2020 and what we're doing here is evident throughout those conversations that we had. I've been with you on business trips to Canada. I know and I see what the rest of the community thinks of, the rest of the world thinks of you, thinks of what we're doing and the model that we've put together here in Central Ohio with Columbus 2020. So thank you for all that hard work. Keep it up. We've still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 220-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Homeland Security and Justice Programs.
Resolution 221-16, resolution authorizing a sub-grant award and contract with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for law enforcement and crime reduction initiatives through the FY 2015 Justice Assistant Grant in the amount of $169,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Pearson on behalf of the Franklin County Homeland Security and Justice Programs. This funding will continue to support a variety of Franklin County Sheriff's Office community policing and enforcement initiatives, including the Stop Underage Access to Alcohol program, the Street Smart suite of programs, which includes the Personal Empowerment program and the Drug and Gang Prevention for youth serving adults, the Internet Crimes Against Children initiative, Interdiction efforts specifically targeting hotel, motel managers as well as rental storage companies. Enforcement of felony criminal warrants, and of course the Sheriff's Citizens Academy. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval.
Move approval of 22116.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution 221-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 222-16, resolution authorizing a sub-grant award and contract for services with Leader Spark to support leadership programming under the FY 2015 Title II Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act Block Grant in the amount of $50,000.
Commissioners, as you know, the Title II block grant aims to reduce the number of minority youth involved in the criminal justice system. This program, while new to Title II, is not new to Franklin County. It's a trauma-informed best practice program and will offer up to 80 juvenile court-involved youth ages 11 to 17 a 22-week interactive leadership program. It's going to work to develop coping skills, working with others, vocational development, dealing with stress and conflict, as well as enhancing self-esteem, self-efficacy, and empathy skills. Additionally, parent workshops will be offered for all the youth in the program. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this neat and new program.
I will move for approval of 22216.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution 222-16 has been adopted.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Benefits and risk management.
Resolution number 223-16, resolution authorizing a contract amendment with Business Solver to provide employee benefits administration services to comply with the 6055/6056 reporting requirements of the Affordable Care Act for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Benefits Program in the amount of $124,450.
Good morning, Commissioners. Maggie Snow, Director of Benefits and Risk Management. This resolution is to assist the county with fulfilling a requirement of the Affordable Care Act to provide a statement to each member of the plan, letting them know that they had coverage each month within the calendar year of 2015, and it also verifies that we met the requirement for minimum essential coverage. And this is a pretty long process to pull all this information together, but it will be done and will go out the end of this month. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of 22316.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution 223-16 has been adopted. Resolution 224-16, resolution authorizing a 9-month-long contract with Voya Financial for specific excess loss insurance coverage for Franklin County Cooperative Health Benefits plans, medical and pharmacy claims in the amount of $590,940.
Commissioners, as you know, our medical and our pharmacy are both self-insured programs, and stop-loss insurance is something that is a financial safety net for the county. It is critical to maintaining a program that can afford to be in existence. It also helps us now by adding pharmacy claims to this, because specialty drugs are now starting to hit as high as, in some cases, $80,000 a month for a medication. And as that trend continues, we know those costs are going to continue to grow. We worked with CBIZ, our actuarial consultant. They marketed this for us, and it went out to a total of 12 vendors, including UHC, and 10 of those declined bidding on this, and that has to do with the very high recent occurrence of high-cost claims that we're experiencing at the moment. We believe that Voya has the best plan for us, the best offering. They will be covering this for a 9-month period, because in January we're going to an annual calendar year for our plan. So this is just for 9 months. And the plan is to go out and bid again in the late fall, mid to late fall, in order to make this process a little bit more expeditious. But it is a tight one in terms of they can't quote on it until we give them the claims information. So pending any questions, I do recommend this resolution for the contract with Voya Financial to cover our stop loss.
And CBIZ is in agreement that this all makes sense.
Yes.
As we talked about in briefing.
Yes, they did the full analysis for
Right.
us, and it does make sense for us at this time.
I'll move approval of Resolution 22416.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 224-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. Human Resources.
Resolution number 225-16, resolution approving personnel actions.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, representing Human Resources. Have the following personnel actions this week: Department of Animal Care and Control, 2 new hires, 1 temporary work level, and 2 resignations. Child Support Enforcement Agency, 1 promotion, 12 transfers within the agency, and 2 resignations. Job and Family Services, 1 new hire, 1 temporary work level, 1 resignation, 1 disability separation, and 1 suspension. Economic Development and Planning, 1 rate increase. Public Facilities Management, 1 new hire and 1 transfer within the agency. And then also on Job and Family, we have 423 rate increases. That's the the bargaining OCSEA members, the final year of their 3-year contract. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
I will move for approval of Resolution 22516.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 225-16 has been
Thank you,
adopted.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Purchasing.
Resolution number 226-16, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $19,242,658.61.
Good morning, Commissioners. Carl Cuthbert representing the Purchasing Department. The resolution before you requests for approval of 115 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified to availability funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, I recommend their approval.
I will move for approval of 22616.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 226-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution 227-16, resolution reappointing Thomas J. Katzenmeyer and Jeffrey A. Sopp to the Franklin County Parks and Recreation Board of Trustees.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. Pending any questions, would recommend reappointment, the approval of these reappointments. Sorry.
Move approval of 22716.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 227-16 has been adopted.
Get Ken Schnocke off our back there.
Resolution number 228-16, resolution amending and approving the intergovernmental agreement between Franklin County Commissioners and the Mayor of the City of Columbus regarding implementation of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
Commissioners, this intergovernmental agreement was amended in response to the new Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. It establishes the mayor of the City of Columbus and the county commissioners as the local elected officials that appoint and set up the Workforce Development Board to manage the workforce system in this community. It establishes the Workforce Development Board as the fiscal agent for WIOA, and also establishes the terms of appointment to the board. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of the agreement.
I will move for passage of Resolution 22816.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 228-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
And now the work begins on this one, huh?
Correct.
And we need to really get going on it.
There'll
Don't we?
be-
There's a time frame, isn't there?
Yeah, the commissioners, the Workforce WIOA Act requires implementation by July 1st, and so we're working through that. You all made appointments to the new board back in December, and we continue to work on the intergovernmental agreements and separating out COIC from the Workforce Development Board as prescribed by the law. So the work continues, yes.
And, you know, as I've been out in the community, there's just a lot of confusion in the community about what is going on in this workforce system. So we're going to have to start letting people try to explain it in the community.
Absolutely, Commissioner, and fundamentally, the new law requires that the Workforce Development Board be a separate entity
Right.
that procures out the services of the one-stop. And so that is what requires the split in the two organizations, and then that one-stop services be bid out competitively by July of 2017. So we're working towards that marker.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Resolution number 229-16, resolution amending the travel policy for Franklin County employees.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. The Office of Management and Budget worked with the Auditor's Office on these various updates and clarifications to the travel policy. The main highlights are it's to provide that a tip or gratuity is reasonable rather than a strict 20% cap to avoid situations where an adjustment or pay-in is needed due to a minimal amount due to rounding. Incorporates language reasonable standard in terms of the authorized travel status or lodging within 65 miles, and authorizes reimbursement for the last day of travel in the event that the travel status ends on or after 7 p.m. Pending any questions, would ask for approval of this resolution.
So we are allowing people to eat on the last day of travel if they're getting home at 10 p.m. They can
included in the per
eat
diem, that is
and get
correct.
reimbursed. Is
Yes.
that right?
That is correct.
How nice of us to do that. Don't you think? How humane.
I have no comment on our travel reimbursement
I will,
policy.
I'm very happy to know that the auditor and our budget management team have been able to come to agreement on this. I will move for approval of 229-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 229-16 has been adopted. Resolution 230-16, a resolution expressing the conditional intention of the County of Franklin, Ohio, to issue its self-supporting housing revenue bonds in an amount not to exceed $20 million for the benefit of the Sawyer Manor and Trevitt Heights multifamily housing complex.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Tom Williamson, Chief Financial Officer with the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority. I have with me Drew May from Brett Capital and Dave Hodop from Squire Sanders. We are seeking approval of issuance of a $20 million self-supporting housing revenue bond. This is for the purpose of redeveloping, modernizing our Sawyer Manor and Trevitt Heights communities on the Near East Side. As you may know, CMHA houses over 35,000 people who otherwise may not have access to safe, affordable housing, and that's throughout Franklin County. We are now undertaking an initiative to update our entire public housing authority, our public housing portfolio. In the case of Sawyer Manor and Trevitt Heights, this 253-unit community, it is being funded with CMHA capital as well as tax credit equity. The self-supporting bonds we're seeking approval for will be fully cash collateralized, so no public money, no county money is at risk. Any questions you may have of us, otherwise we would seek your approval.
Anybody have anything else to say?
No, I would just reiterate a couple points from the resolution. First, David Hoda from Squire Patton Boggs, they made the lawyer stand. So the bonds are self-supporting. There's not a general obligation to the county, and this is a declaration of official intent for purposes of the federal tax regulations, so that will be followed by additional actions, and the county will make sure that it's, as it says in the resolution, adequately represented and protected. So.
Thanks.
I'll move approval of resolution 230-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution 230-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank
For the
you
work of
very
CMHA,
much.
even if you had to bring a lawyer with you. Antoine, are there any journalizations today?
There are none.
No journalizations. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. That concludes our business. We'll see everybody next week.